some space, right? Jacob, he's got inside ball, no!
This could be points, Queens are in!
Brilliant offload into the hands of Quincy for that.
And there's an intercept, Yogo Queens!
Absolute beauty into a pass to clearly.
To Hendrickson! And the Glenwood scrum off will get in! Absolutely incredible try.
Were you confident for that kick?
Well, welcome here to Boerters Hill at Kearsney College here in KwaZulu-Natal of South Africa for the final game of day one of the 2019 Standard Bank Easter Rugby Festival, and we have Transvalia taking on DHS. And Transvalia, well, they're looking for their first victory of the season. For DHS, they've only won 1 out of 5, so both teams struggling in the opening part of their season, so they'll be in desperate need of a victory. With me in the commentary box today is Nick Tatham.
Justin, yeah, so the DHS side from last year, we remember them here. They were enterprising, but as you say, they've battled a little bit at the start of this season. I must admit, Transvalia are a bit of a foreign entity for me. This is their first time at the Kearsney Easter Rugby Festival, so it's going to be interesting to see how they go. In the DHS side, I just want to point out a guy like Shakir Ledoux. He was their talisman last season as well, so he's back for his second year of first 15 rugby, and it's going to be interesting to see how he marshals his troops from 10.
DHS are captained by flanker Tarek Kruger, while Transvalia are captained by centre Franco Wagner. And immediately DHS with a great start to this game, regaining their kickoff. Ceteris at the base, and there was a good slip ball there. Yes, Stony Steenkamp, the savage, and it's been poached. Transvalia with numbers on the right. Yes, Wagner, and almost intercepted. And what a crazy start to this fixture.
Yeah, DHS getting hands on the ball nice and early. Another guy that's going to be influential is Stony Steenkamp in the middle of the front row there for DHS. Another guy who's back for a second year. Was really good last year too, so going to be interesting to see what happens here at the first scrum. Transvalia ball just outside their 22.
So Transvalia, they average at 99 kilograms per player. A lot of Gauteng beef. So the Andrew Dupree sends the ball a mile, and here is Darren Boyson, the fullback. And that is just terrifically done by Boyson. He's a little feather, but he's not afraid of the dogfight.
Transvalia, I think, have just been given a little bit of an insight into what DHS are capable of. They probably want to try get the ball off the park when they're kicking from hand deep in their half of the field. Brilliant work there from Boyson.
DHS also have a few big men in their front row. Watch out for Marcel Knoll, 110 kilograms. Ceteris, the douche, assessing his options, and well taken there. Wasn't an easy ball to take. Ceteris, he's a live wire. And brilliantly done there by DHS, looking to just shock this Transvalia defensive line. And they have to play some enterprising rugby. Here's the douche, a great short ball there to Umkwanazi. He has a big job to do today against Fragno Wangda. And there's space on the left here. And then Jenna spills the goods.
So we see DHS with ball in hand. They've had all the possession so far in this one and have looked to keep the ball, keep the pace up, really try and put Transvalia under early pressure.
So we've seen some terrific rugby here. We just witnessed a game going down to the wire. Jansen, well, they were the underdog and they almost bit. But unfortunately for them, it was a converted try by Glenwood at the end of the game to seal the deal at 27 points to 26. Just see there in picture number 8, Njokweni for DHS. So it will be Stewart to feed. Sean Christie at fly off. And here's Wagner. And immediately some room on the left for Monsieur. The left winger, so much pace with the fend as well, but DHS do well to drag him into touch.
Top stuff from Transvalia, managing to get themselves up on the left-hand side of that scrum, which sort of took the open side flank of DHS out of play there, and getting the ball out wide quickly. Good passing, great pass, well, good pass, and then out wide into the hands of Maso, who getting on the outside. Good work from Transvalia. Bit dangerous there for Glenwood when they give the ball away.
And Cederus, he'll run all day, the number 9. And they're really looking to light the field. Cederus, players on the left. Terrifically done. Mkwanazi. Terrifically done there again by Nene, and that is a massive hit on the small winger. But DHS have the penalty. And Cederus, he just wants to get the show on the road.
Incredible. He wanted to go quickly again there, did Cederus. But it's great stuff from DHS, really catching Transvalia napping there on defence. Trying to turn their big forwards, try and get them running backwards, and get them making tackle after tackle. I think that's the key game plan for DHS so far in this one.
So both sides really in desperate need of a victory. Only one victory between both of these sides in 2019. Stony Steenkamp with the feed. Only in grade 11, second season of first team rugby. So it's slow for Cederus. And he frees it away to the douche. And he has a crack. The experienced campaigner. And it's been poached here by Van Rensburg. And Christie looking to exit. And Transvalia, well, they'll be looking to slow things down.
Yeah, we've seen that the wind has actually played a much bigger part in today's matches than initially anticipated. It's at Transvalia's back, so it looks like DHS are trying to keep the ball in hand as much as they possibly can. And Transvalia, their exits haven't been as good as they could have been off the boot.
Steenkamp at the feed to his skipper, Kruger. And here's Marcel Knoll.
So scrum down to Transvalia now. Still on the back foot, still having to try and get themselves going forward. It's been a difficult opening 6 minutes for the men from Gauteng.
It's gone exactly how DHS would have wanted it to go. The only issue is they don't have points. But so far, they're showing a lot of threat. And there is Marcel Knoll, number 1. A huge unit, 1.89 meters, 110 kilos. His tight head prop O'Neill is 115 kilos. Stewart to Christie, to Wagner, back on the inside, brilliantly done there to De Villiers. And Transvalia, they'll be looking to gain some momentum here. Here's De Preer, the fullback. And Stewart does well, throws a massive dummy, and look at the footwork. Silken slippers, the number 9, he's it away to De Preer. And end-to-end stuff at the moment, both sides having opportunities.
It's interesting to see that Transvalia haven't elected to kick there. They've kept the ball in hand, and they've done beautifully well. Great stuff there from Dewald Stewart, getting them through the gap and on the front foot. Unfortunately, it seems like the story of the day. There's just been that one pass too many from a lot of the sides, and the knock-on has given DHS the ball again.
Remember to interact with us across all social media platforms. Cederus, the little feather. And they go blind, DHS. Back on the inside to Cederus. The kick ahead. Is it perfect? It isn't. Monsieur comes to the rescue. And Cederus is looking so dangerous. It's been ripped away, but illegally done so.
Dosemba Brilliant break off the back of the scrum. They're getting up on the right-hand side and using that blind side beautifully well. Cedrus with a little chip through. Unfortunately, didn't fall for him. And Christie can clear for Transvalia. It's a brilliant kick from the fly-off.
Massive clearance there.
So here we go, the little chip through, the bounce there just didn't favour Cedrus, but brilliant work in the end from Masoi getting back there, but you can see no daylight from the DHS player. So Transvalia can clear their lines.
Du Plessis, and he finds Graham. Stuart to Christie. Into the woodwork he goes. Wagner, the big captain, and the head boy of Transvalia. Such a massive presence in midfield. And here's Swanepoel. So much size in this Transvalia team.
Did brilliantly well. Did Bernard Du Plessis, but unfortunately grabbed it back in, and as he was going to ground, knocked it on. Had quite a few scrums already early on in this one. Can't really see who's gaining the ascendancy at scrum time. I think it's been fairly even so far.
Which is quite amazing considering the size of the Transvalia pack. DHS have all their size in the front row. DHS will be looking to those big three players in their front row to stand up today against Transvalia.
Just looking at that picture there, you can see the size difference, height difference especially, which could work in DHS's favour when it comes to scrum time.
So Cedrus. This feather doesn't care where he is on a rugby field. The douche almost throwing an intercept pass there.
Yeah, taking the ball to the line. Ledouche, but which might have been the right option, but he had the player sort of doing the loop on the outside. I think he might have just held the ball up for a bit longer here. See, he takes it right to the line. The angle in the end from Mkwanazi. He sort of mistimed his run a little bit, but no harm done for DHS. They still got the ball.
Cedrus. And the scrum is hanging in. He's under pressure. Ledouche.
Found some space.
De Prier has to backtrack, but he has a mammoth boot on him. And the ball travels a mile. What a kick.
It's a great kick. That's a brilliant kick from Du Prier. It seems like a lot of the players who come from the half-veld spend a lot of time kicking, so it doesn't matter if they come down here where the air's a little bit thicker, they still manage to get a lot of distance on their kicks. Did have a little bit of assistance with the wind, but it's a brilliant kick from Du Prier.
Stoney Steenkamp to throw. Brilliantly taken there by Bongo. And great running that was there, and he's been dangerous. Tosemba. Mkwanazi freeing it away. Transvalia, they get a turnover and they get the penalty.
Frustrating for DHS there. On the front foot, getting the ball up towards the halfway line after a brilliant line out. Love seeing the ball going to the back of the line out. And unfortunately, just a little bit inaccurate at the breakdown, which has led to the penalty going the way of Transvalia.
So Transvalia now with a line out virtually on the 22. And they have an opportunity to score the first try of the game. Scrappy at line-out time, but they managed to get it back. Here's Christie. Dummies Wagner, and he finds a huge opening. Sean Christie frees it away, and De Prier gets the opening try for Transvalia.
Good score there for the men from Gauteng. Christie holding the ball up, not committing too early to a decision, and then just ghosting through the gap. But it looks like it's going to be a penalty to DHS. I thought there might have been a little bit of obstruction involved there, and it looks like that's going to be the decision.
Well, DHS, they've dodged a massive bullet.
There's some oohs and ahs in the crowd there, but I think the ref has got that one right.
Off the hook. Despite that, it was some great play from Christie. So we still score this year, and it's bizarre to think that considering the amount of play we've seen. Steenkamp and Kruger misses it, but it goes to Marcel Null, born when meat was cheap.
From the side.
And there's great work by Graham.
From the side.
Transvalia have been really good at spoiling DHS ball on the ground. We just have a look here. Christie shifting across. There we go. There's the obstruction. And that's pretty fair and obvious, that obstruction. So DHS get out of jail, but they'll take that. They'll take that for sure. But as I was saying, at the breakdown, Transvalia have done well to spoil the ball because DHS have tried to be as quick as possible. And they've just flooded through the breakdown and they've turned over a lot.
So Stewart, service has been good. Christie with a brilliant skip pass, and there's that feather again to Priya. And Dosemba with a great tackle there. And on the blind side is Ollers, and I'm not sure about that decision from the number 13.
It just fizzled out the attack there. They had the opportunity to really put DHS under pressure in their 22, but decision making once again. I know, well, I guess a lot of these sides have played quite a bit of rugby, but this festival traditionally was the start of the season for a lot of teams, and there might just be a few, I don't know, early festival jitters there.
Steenkamp to Bongo. DHS looking to gain some meters to just relieve some pressure, and they get a bonus, they get a penalty.
Now, not rolling away is the call in the end by the referee. Straight over the ball, I think, was the first man there. Very little daylight, so Ledouche can clear their lines a bit here. DHS won't be too disappointed, I don't think, that it's 0-0.
Masu, this winger has tons of pace, and look at him go. Gaining so much meters, and you really need to kick the ball out against this Transvalia side. DHS back under the cosh. Wagner looking to free the ball away there. Such a big centre. Looks like he's got a dangerous offload as well. A chip ahead. And the douche in trouble. But Transvalia are in the red zone here.
Good work there from Transvalia. Keeping the ball. A little bit of vision there shown in the end by Wagner. There was a little bit of space behind the DHS defence. And that led to the mistake from Ledouche, and Transvalia with a brilliant attacking opportunity. Masoi showing clean pair of heels there. As you said, they don't want to be kicking the ball to him too often with that amount of space.
So Stuart again with the feed. So far, DHS, when it has been their ball at scrum time, they have fronted up. But right now, it's Transvalia's ball. They've got the size advantage across the park, perhaps only in possession number 2.
Wagner's lining up really flat outside Christie. So there could be a sort of crash it up through 12 and then work it quickly around to the right-hand side once again.
Number 22 there, Mkwanazi. Big day for him up against Wagner. Doesn't get tougher than that when you're about 20 kilograms lighter. Stuart looking for an opening. Back on the inside. Brilliantly done. What a try that was. And it looks like it is number 6 Berger, if I'm not mistaken.
That's great work from Stuart. Sniping next to the scrum there, giving himself an opportunity to get over the gain line, getting the pass away. And it's Christian Berger who gets over for the score. There he is, inside ball. Great work from the number 6 in support, right off his shoulder. Top stuff. Try time Transvalia. The deadlock is now broken.
So Transvalia eventually crossing the whitewash, and Pretoria has a chance to add the extras.
He's teed that up incredibly high.
And the radar not functioning earlier on. And so far, well, Transvalia, it was interesting, Stuart, they had a go, so much traffic and a lot of hunger shown by the scrum off.
DHS will really want to stay down in the half like they did at the beginning of the match. But Transvalia absorbed the pressure beautifully.
DHS, well, doing well at restart time. Ceteris late to arrive, so Marcel Null has a crack. Ceteris to the douche. Mkwanazi with a great offload there. Spectacular stuff to Mahi Pisa, the outside centre, and the try scorer. Burger there with the steal. And Transvalia starting to settle down, and look at that ball travel from Pretoria. Have you seen anything like that ever? What a kick that was.
Raking kick, but great work from DHS. They're going to attack right now, right back at Transvalia.
And that was there in Jokweni, and it spilt, but so much pressure added by that kick.
No, it's a brilliant kick, right into space, taking play all the way back down to the DHS 22, and they've got to run it back, because if they kick it back, they're not going to get as much distance as they would like. So they keep the ball in hand and run it back, and Transvalia forced the mistake.
So Burger there, one of the lightest in the pack for Transvalia, and 87 kilograms is not that light. Stuart, and Stuart's got it again. Very wiry and nuggety. Christie gives it to Bronkenhurst, and Wagner juggles, but it doesn't matter. Transvalia have a penalty, and it'll be interesting, Nick, to see if they have a shot at goal.
I think that they might. Just judging by the first kick, it seemed like the kick had Pretoria had more than enough distance. So with a little bit of a breeze behind him, if he gets it right up in the air, I think it's quite comfortable. But it looks like he's going to kick to the corner. More pressure on DHS.
DHS will consider that possibly a win. They're not out of the woods yet, but we know that Pretoria can put those balls right on the 5 metre. To proceed with the feed there to Swanepoel, the 100 kilogram lock. And Transvalia love the tight game. And when this engine gets going, it's difficult to stop Christie to Wagner. Great ball there to Bronkhorst. And then Olus collecting. Wagner, the captain, to Christie. And to Villiers. DHS have to defend for their lives. Stuart. Try time. Another physical try. And it's scored by number 5, Swanepoel, the 106 kilogram monster.
They just got themselves on the front foot and made the right decision after right decision at the breakdowns there. And eventually DHS just couldn't hold out on defense. A brilliant score from Transvalia. They're just showing that their physicality is the way forward here. Good ball in the end. Bronkhorst getting over the gain line, getting into the hands of Alice. Then to the right-hand side they go. Again, Christie trying to open up the space there. That's the most important thing. Opening up the space out wide. Drawing in defenders. They're 1, 2, 3, 4 players out of the game there for DHS. And then the short ball. Good angle from Swanepoel, and he gets over on the chalk. Try time.
So Christie this time having a shot at goal. 2 reliable kickers. And it's picture perfect from Christie.
Brilliant strike there. absolute arrow straight there over the posts. So just under 7 to go in the first half. Transvalia starting to make this advantage count.
So after a ferocious start for DHS in that opening 10 minutes, Transvalia managed to soak up the pressure and they find themselves 12 points up. The coaching staff and Jaco Kok will be very happy with us so far, but there's a lot of time to go still. Wagner, the captain, with a magical offload and the kick downtown and the chase there for de Villiers. But this is just brilliant from Transvalia. DHS again under the pump.
Top stuff there from Transvalia. That was a right option. Put it on the boot, put them under even more pressure, get it down in their 22 and play the game down in their half of the field. It seems like they've been able to force DHS into mistakes, which has given them the ball back on the front foot, and why not carry on with the tactic that's got you 12 points already.
Stoney Steenkamp and Bongo, another tough take for the lock.
Played him in the air, so it's a penalty to DHS.
Cederis doesn't mess around. He gives it to Steenkamp. Back to Cederis. And they've really got the attacking flair to open up
Not
a defense.
Not committing any men to the breakdown at DHS, so Transvalia are really pumping men into the breakdown.
The douche players on the outside. And good tackle there from Olus. It's with Mkwake Nazi. And the kick ahead, yeah.
Couple knock-ons there. First from DHS, and I think it came off the face of Masau. So, as I said, scrum down Transvalia on the front foot once again with 5 to go in the first half.
And also, Nick, it's probably going to get really tough for DHS in the second half with the size advantage that Transvalia have. It's going to be really difficult to stop these big players.
DHS managed to have the ball for long periods during the first, I'd say, 10 minutes of the game, which forced Transvalia to make those tackles. And with the guys that size, you want them to be making tackles constantly. And now that Transvalia have got the ball, they've been getting on the front foot and have been keeping possession and have made DHS make the tackles. Cederis is coming off the field now, replaced by Ngobani Dlamini.
Stuart to Christie. Tries to get the offload to Monsieur, but he misses him completely. DHS, it's a chance for them to recover. The douche with a fancy kick over the top. And de Villiers did well. Even though it's gone forward, he stopped a potential attacking threat, but DHS have the penalty.
Taking out the scrum off, it's pretty blatant in the end there for Transvalia. So penalty goes the way of DHS, but it seems like tempers are flaring a little bit. So the referee's just having a word.
So the douche now, as we enter into a key part of the game just before the halftime oranges. The momentum completely with Transvalia, but DHS now have a chance to try get some points on the board here, which should really bring them back into this fixture. Clippy Steenkamp with the feed, and his line-out radar is struggling at the moment. And Jansen van Rensburg, the huge loose-head prop, and that was a massive carry there and tackle. Duplessis was with the carry there.
Here we go for DHS. They've got an opportunity.
Dlamini, the douche. And that is such a pity because there were so many players on the outside.
An opportunity there for DHS to put Transvalia under the pump. Men on the outside really needed to keep that ball, but just a poor pass.
Mapisa there in picture, and there's Sean Christie, the man who converted the previous try. Transvalia, well, considering the shaky start, the coaching staff will be proud.
It's Langa Ngobozi who's down for DHS in number 17. He's been really good at scrum time especially. Little man, but has stood up really well at scrum time, and he's going to be replaced by the man in number 3. That's Kate O'Neill coming onto the field. He looks like a big man.
115 kilograms. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alleyway.
Here we go. Transvalia going at it, and the pop off the ground straight into Stoop's face. So now the opportunity was there for DHS to counter. Just the double skip pass here at the bootlaces, unfortunately.
And that's the thing for DHS. It's been those last 1 or 2 passes that just haven't paid off. And it comes down to inches in a game like this. Stoop does well, pretty efficient from the scrum off. Big hits on Christie. And Wagner now, the skipper has to come to the rescue. And the game is still alive. Almost like 2 games in 1 there. Just needed another rugby ball.
Transvalia didn't take lightly to the fact that they got monstered in the scrum. But here got DHS down the left-hand side.
It's great running there by Jenner, the centre. So Rick Kruger, the captain, calling for it. Pops it beautifully to Mkwanazi. A fearless run there by the inside centre. Tlamini with something extravagant. Dosemba, and that is a pity. So many players on the outside. It would have been absolutely amazing. And going back for it now is Mkwanazi and De Villiers.
Trouble here for DHS.
And this is big trouble now with a penalty. Be a crucial 3 points at goal, or even worse if they take a stab into touch.
DHS had the prime opportunity. They had 2 men over on the near side here. Just needed 1 pass and they were in for the score. Unfortunately, the man taking it into contact and then trying to play the pass late and was intercepted by Dupree, who, as we know, has got a big boot and put the ball right down into DHS's half. And again, forced the mistake from DHS. There seems to be a word here from the man on the side, the assistant referee. There were a few handbags being thrown around after that good scrum from DHS. So we'll see what the outcome is from this one.
It was such a pity because there was an extravagant kick there from Shlamini, and it probably would have been one of the tries of the season. So the pity that Dosemba, who's been having such a cracker, didn't see his players on the left. This will be interesting to see what happens here. Picture there is Duplessis.
Kate O'Neill made his presence felt in that first scrum since he's been on, but Transvalia did really well to regain possession despite the pressure that they were put under by the DHS pack. Some long spiel on the far side. The assistant referee has clearly got a lot to say.
Well, let's just hope we don't lose any players. If it is the case, if something cynical or negative was done. And Tariq Kruger is getting called over, and so is Wagner, I believe. And they will have a committee here. It's actually the number 18 who's getting called over, Dirks. Or actually Van Aswerken, sorry, and Wagner and Steenkamp there, and Kruger of DHS.
Just think it was a case of mistaken identity. So the man being called over is Kate O'Neill after his first contribution.
Stoney Steenkamp couldn't believe it.
As all hookers do, very good, innocent face. He managed to plead his innocence. There we go, handshakes and we're all good, I think. Oh no, we're not. 2 yellow cards.
So one there to O'Neill and then to Van Aswerken, who's only been on the field for a few minutes. Or at least that's even Stevens, 14 versus 14. So
going to be an interesting conversation because they've got to sit next to each other on the bench here.
Is there enough space?
Well, we'll have to just see what the decision is. Penalty. Headbutt, I think. Looks like the referee said. And then they're going back to the penalty that Transvalia got originally.
So Christie, well, this is big trouble for DHS. Obviously for Transvalia, if they went for goal, they would go more than a 2 converted try into the lead. But a try will certainly be even worse. And they'll carry so much momentum going into the break. It's a good throw from Du Plessis. And Transvalia doing the bread and butter stuff out here. Du Plessis at the back, having such a good time, and he wants to score. But Stewart is scrum off. Says that will be all. Pick and drive here. This is the physical stuff from Transvalia. The kids from Gauteng. Christie at 9. Stops the inside ball there to Du Plessis. And luckily Transvalia still have it back. And Wagner, the captain, really close now in search of a third try. Stewart wants a second. And try time by the number 19 in Graham, I believe. What a try.
It's great work from Transvalia once again, drawing in the DHS defenders, getting them nice and tight, but also being able to get the ball away in the contact. So top stuff there, Transvalia. DHS really didn't want to concede on the halftime whistle. Just see again here, look, you see they've drawn in the defenders. Just one off runners, the switchback. Stewart took it in and managed to get himself free here. And off it went. Bosh, over he goes. Try time, Transvalia. Halftime whistle comes.
Massive hammer blow there to DHS. And Christie. And he manages to slot it. So Transvalia 19, DHS 0. In commanding lead here. But Nick, it must be said, the one player who has made that has been Stewart. He's been instrumental.
Incredibly instrumental. Ball in hand, making the right decisions at the breakdowns, it has been the difference, you could almost say, between the two sides. But 19 points in these conditions, I don't think is a lot. I think it is quite easy for DHS to turn that around if they play the second half how they started the first half. If they get themselves into the right part of the field and manage to stay there for extended periods, then they can turn this 19-0 lead over quite comfortably, I think. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the second period.
It's time for MTN Easter Mega Deals. This month only, save big with 40 gigs of data for only $199 per month on a 24-month My MTN Choice 5 gig SIM-only contract. Plus, get a MiFi router for an extra R30 per month. We got you. Sign up for upgrade at an MTN store today. Everywhere you go, MTN.
So we're back here at the Kearsney Rugby Festival. It's day one of the festival and it's the final game of day one. Durban High School 0, Transvalia 19. We saw DHS start the game very well, and it was a pity that they couldn't really execute anything. Transvalia started getting into their stride, and as a result, they scored 3 tries through Berger, the open side flanker, Swanepoel, the number 5, and Graham, the number 4. Nick, thoughts on the second half?
I said it just before half-time, and I know DHS, and I know that they have the ability to overturn deficits, and I know that they have the ability to run sides ragged if they want to. If they get themselves an early score here, we could be in for a really exciting second half of rugby. But on the other foot, if Transvalia get the first points of the second half, I think it might be a bridge too far for DHS. But we'll just have to wait and see. DHS have got the wind at their backs a little bit in the second half, so maybe Ledouche will kick a little bit more, try and get them playing down, turning the big forwards of Transvalia and getting them onto the front foot in their 22. They spent very little time in the Transvalia 22 in that first half. I think in the first 10 minutes they bossed the game, but were unable to get any points, which is probably a credit to the Transvalia defence, who managed to keep DHS out. And then the boot of a guy like Leandro Dupré, who put DHS right back in their 22 often, could be a bit of a non-entity in the second half here for Transvalia. So DHS will be hoping to use that sort of advantage, kick the ball back, and hopefully with Dupré's boot, if he kicks the ball to them, they'll be able to counter-attack.
We saw those scenes from DHS and Transvalia. Both coaches, Coach Ronnie Ace of DHS still believes, and we saw Yaku Kok for Transvalia going absolutely mental, like they were 19 points down.
Yeah, you just got to keep drilling it into guys, into schoolboys. As much as they love their rugby, they can drift a little bit. So you want to try and make sure that guys are on the ball all the time and understand where you want to go and understand what they want to do, to try and maintain your advantage going into the second half. So here we go, just about to get underway. Going to be a big 30 for both sides.
Transvalia, well, they've got 30 minutes before the first win of their season. If they can hang on, and here's Dosemba, and he has been absolutely electrifying. Look at the speed on the flanker. He is still going. This is absolutely amazing. What a try, son, Dosemba.
That could be the try of the week already. Shut the door, everyone go home. Unbelievable stuff. What a pair of heels he's got on him. Dosemba off the kickoff. Literally couldn't have started better for DHS.
Well, that is just brilliant. It's what you were talking about, Nick.
So just a ball bounces free, and if he found himself in space, got himself ahead of steam, always going to be difficult for the defender to stop him, to be fair. Getting around the last man, but the change of hands with the ball, going it from his left into his right, managing to get a little bit of a fend off, top stuff from the loose forward. Wouldn't think he was a loose forward watching him.
I think he should have 14 on his back. The burst away flanker, Dosemba. So DHS, every point will be vital. And something wrong with the 9 iron there.
That's unfortunate for DHS. But what a start. 1.5 minutes gone and they've already managed to get themselves 5 points. So Transvalia will be a little bit concerned that open play can cause something like that as they restart.
Cederus, another dangerous player. And he also has an educated boot.
Top kick from the scrum half.
And Nick, DHS are just a try away from really being in this contest.
Absolutely. Imagine a 7-pointer here, 19-12, and you're within a score. If they can do that in the next 10 minutes, it is absolutely game on.
Duplessis with the feed, it works out. So Transvalia have made a couple of replacements, and a replacement at fly-off in the form of Tippenaar. And Visser The big units, 100 kilograms, punching the line hard. Transvalia want to put DHS back under the covers. Transvalia have the penalty.
Yeah, great running off the ball there. Top lines from Transvalia, putting themselves on the front foot, taking a number of defenders with them as they get over the gain line. The tactic is clearly to keep the ball in hand, which is fair enough.
On sideline there, you can see Ronnie Ace, the coach. He's fired up for DHS.
Their ball on the ground. Over the ball is Dirks. That one doesn't look like it's gone in straight.
And that's costly as well for Transvalia, just conceding that try, which has boosted the spirits of DHS. DHS now have a chance to just work themselves back into the Transvalia half. And we see the big man, Puertas, coming onto the field. Big unit as well.
Imgorbozi looks like he's back on too. Rolling subs this year at the festival, which is great to see. Ceteris, that kick off the restart there just showed that he's got a substantial boot on him too, for such a little guy.
Dirks is on for DHS. Also ringing a lot of changes here. O'Neill's back on, perhaps after that yellow card. And is there a twist in this tale out here at the start field at Kearsney College at Puertas Hill? DHS, do they believe? And they're going back at the rate of knots here. And that is just brilliantly done by the Transvalia forward pack.
Top stuff from Transvalia there. DHS penalised for pulling out of the contest at the scrum. You might argue that they went a bit early to Transvalia, but they managed to get themselves on the front foot there, and here they go.
And this might just sink DHS's ship if Transvalia do crash over here. They'll be back into that healthy lead, which they were a few minutes ago.
Roll now.
DHS will have to watch their discipline here. The tap and go from Graham, who wants the second. Really close. The pick and drive again. It's try time. The Transvalia forward pack is having an absolute screamer, and Unrek Puertas, the 110 kilogram juggernaut, crashes over.
DHS just unable to stop this juggernaut close to the rucks. The pick and go seem to be working beautifully, but it helps when your backline is fairly dangerous. So DHS fanning out because they can't cover close to the rucks and out wide. And then you've got big guys like that so close to the line. Very rarely are you going to stop them at this level. Here we go. So the men were tight in there. Ceteris didn't quite commit, but with a meter to go, with a bit of support, over they go. Change in kicker once again. Taking on the responsibilities is MC Dippenaar, the left footer.
And that did look like one of my golf shots, Nick.
Nice little hook or fade. So, yeah, I know your pain. So DHS, once again, a lot of work to do to try and get back into this one.
Darren Boyson, fullback. Small little feather, but a heart of a lion. Transvalia, well, it's really their game to lose here. Will they play conservatively, or will they continue to inflict pain on their opposition? Because there's DHS oil leaking on the start field at the moment. And lucky for DHS there, that didn't go forward. do DHS have something in the tank? Transvalia get the turnover, and their first victory of the season really looks like it's coming. Wagner with a great offload there to Olnus, the outside centre. Tippena, and that is just magical. Incredible stuff.
There's a bit of a consultation here. Taken back is the call in the end. I thought there might have been a little bit of interference from the retreating DHS player, but referee and assistant ref seem to be fairly confident that it's just going to be a scrum to Transvalia down the short side. Tippena getting a little spiral through. I saw with the great little chip through. Here we go. Oh, that's DHS got a foot to it before it went over the line, so correct call, scrum down. Transvalia with a good one.
Good pick and drive there. Du Toit freeing it away to Visser. And here's Tippena, the fly off. He had a crack that time. It spits out. Here we go. Transvalia's forward pack is just dominating, and their size is making a massive difference. Here we go. It's the outside centre. Olnus who scores, and Transvalia, the party is really starting here for them.
Starting to run riot here, Transvalia. DHS getting run ragged. They're getting done at their own game by the looks of things here, by the Gauteng side. There we go. Just patience. They didn't get as quick a ball as they would have liked, but just crashing it up there, taking it in through another phase, and then just opening up the space. Coming around the corner, Tippena, who's pulled all the strings now since he's been on. Brilliant little pass off to Olnus, who gets in for another try. Might be good night, nurse.
Let's try number 5. If you take the first 10 minutes away of Transvalia's performance, it's been a first-class performance. Hits the woodwork.
That's a bit like my golf, hitting the woodwork.
But what did Nas say? If you hit the woodwork, it's a perfect kick.
DHS with it all to do now. They really need to get their hands on the ball.
They do.
Oh no, they've gone in front of the kicker off the restart. Absolute sacrilege.
And DHS, Nick, they need to watch out because they can't implode here. 24 points the difference, and there's still 20 minutes left. And it'll be interesting to see how determined Transvalia are to score more tries.
Perfect attacking opportunity here. Middle of the field. Got both sides to work with. The back line have lined up to the left, but Tippena is just shifting out onto the right-hand side of the scrum.
So Du Toit feeds. Brilliantly done by Du Toit. De Villiers, the right winger, getting involved. New placement, hooker there, Lundi. Tippena. He's really been good. Here's Visser, the big blindside flanker. What a pass that was to Wagner, who's always looking to free the ball away. And he does really well here. And DHS can count themselves lucky.
Incredibly lucky there. Wagner getting a good pass. I think the eyes were just up and not on the ball there, unfortunately, for Transvalia. DHS, once again, deep in their half. Have to do all the hard work to try and get out of here. If they want to kick it, they're going to have to try and get it off the park. I think that Transvalia are full of running here, their backline especially, and they look dangerous.
I'm actually surprised, Nick, that they haven't won a game this season, Transvalia. They've played some strong opposition, but they really do look like a balanced outfit.
I think just having a little observation so far in the second half, DHS have battled at the breakdown there. I don't think they've committed enough players to trying to win the ball back. But in the same token, Transvalia have been really good on the ground and have done a lot of spoiling of DHS ball, which has cost them their few opportunities that they've had.
So how much character do DHS have? They have the short arm, and you can bet your bottom dollar the Ceteris will take it quickly to December. Back to Ceteris. And he's really not afraid, the number 9. But at the moment, it's in a losing cause. DHS needs something special. Got a lot of pride to play for. Tlamini looking for distance. And De Villiers is under it. He has Masu with him. De Villiers, well, that is an amazing step by the right winger. Doing really well. Silk in slippers there, but a penalty.
Straight off their feet at the breakdown, Transvalia. So DHS get out of jail. Tlamini's kick, unfortunately for him and his side, going straight to De Villiers, who is lanky and has got a lot of pace. Here he is, sums up his options, knows that he can beat the first defender, so takes him on and then puts the hammer down. Finds himself in some space here. Got a bit of support, but takes it into contact. It's a good tackle in the end there from O'Neill.
Ceteris. A wonderful pass there to December. What an offload there to Nkobo. Thousands on the right here. Bongo. Good pass there by Boyson to Jenner. And Boyson has it again. So DHS, they're not giving up yet. Ceteris to O'Neill. The big tight head prop. Ceteris. And into touch it goes.
That's more like the DHS that we've seen in that first 10 minutes. What do we like to see from DHS? Getting that quick ball, committing. Although they're only committing 1 or 2 to the breakdown, they are accurate in their clean out, which gets the ball back for Ceteris.
So Duplessis, he's been immense, the hooker. And as we say that, Stoney Steenkamp, his opposite number, the Savage, is going for a try here. So determined, Clippy Steenkamp. Ceteris gives it to Bongo, who's really close. So can DHS cash in here? Ceteris back on the inside to his captain, Kruger, and he's holed up.
DHS feeding off the mistakes from Transvalia. Stoney Steenkamp. Blitz vinnig, that man. Great work from the hooker. Had a pass on the outside to his number 9. Didn't take it. Took play right up to the 5-meter line. And look at Ceteris, always looking around, looking for his options. Taking it on, the little Gregan offload. Good defending from Transvalia, managing to hold up. Scrum down, DHS still on the front foot. They really need a score here.
DHS coaching staff led by the big man there, Ronnie Ace.
He is a big man.
Was a fine rugby player in his day as well. Ceteris has a taught himself. So much effort shown by the number 9. The captain, Kruger, is there. It's a pick and drive here from Matuze. Trying to wrestle over the try line. Another pick and go. DHS trying to play Transvalia's game. Close to the try line here. They're going to go through a big human here. And it's hold up again.
As you said, trying to take on Transvalia at their own game. They might be a little bit more wise and to just give it a bit of air. Give their quick men a chance to score out wide. But to be fair, they made their meters. They paid their fees and they tried to get the try, but held up once again. You see here again, it looks like O'Neill with the pick and go. But again, great work from Transvalia holding the ball up.
DHS, well, they need a big scrum here. And they get it right. Ceteris. And massive tackle there on Jenner. And pretty tethergraft. And Transvalia. Well, look how hungry they are. They get a turnover and they get pumped. Players on the left. Wagner with a great ball to Olers. And here's Masu down the touchline. But the kick is adrift.
Just shins it into touch. But there we go. Transvalia are playing with all the confidence in the world here. You might have thought that they were going to just get it out of here, kick it downtown. But with a 29-5 lead, you can understand. Just if we look at that drive at the line there from O'Neill, top work there from Transvalia to get over it.
So a few players for DHS have stood out despite the scoreline. Steenkamp's been good. Ceteris has been good as well. Kruger, the captain, hasn't stopped working. But it's just been the execution levels. Ceteris to Tlamini. Great hitting the line here from Ngobo, who spots a massive gap. Was that high? Referee says no. Knock on. Transvalia ball.
Ball in contact for DHS has been an issue there. Trying to free it up, just losing it on the ground, and it's just gone forward slightly. And once again, the forwards are not going to be chuffed. They did their job at the line out to try and get their side a couple more phases. And unfortunately, the ball's gone forward. So DHS back to set pieces. Scrum down here, Transvalia ball.
So it will be Dutoy to feed Transvalia. Well, they can roll the dice here. They can afford to do so. Tippenaar says no.
It's a brilliant kick.
Spectacular.
Brilliant kick from Tippenaar. He's probably got a 10 meter by 10 meter area where he needs to land that one, and he's landed at pinpoint in the middle.
DHS. Well, they're going to have to try run it. They've got 10 minutes to try mitigate the size in the scoreline. Clippy Steenkamp will throw. And it's a complete overthrow. And here we go for Transvalia. That time it was the toy, the scrum off, in search of their 6th try. Great play there by the number 6 in Burger. And Wagner now. It's been a captain's innings from the number 12. He's led from the front. Beautiful pass. Ollers. Here we go. Try time. Using the numbers really well. And it's Tiernesen who scores for Transvalia. Try number 6.
Marnus Tiernesen getting an easy run in on the far side there. Just great hands from Transvalia, using their extra man over. Not being selfish, especially when the scoreline can start ballooning like that. You can see guys starting to get a bit of white line fever, but terrific stuff there from Transvalia. Easy hands out into the wing here. Just have a look. Ball on the ground. They knew that they had the numbers over. Good pass, drawing the man, straightening the line, giving Tunison the space on the outside. Easy run in for the winger.
And also now for Transvalia, they'll be oozing in confidence, Nick, into their games against Pretoria Boys High School, who beat Kearsney earlier, and then Glenwood as well. Those are going to be rippers.
Yeah, two big games. Both of those sides won today. So Transvalia going to be on a high, but so are those sides. Trying to cut it in, but unfortunately he's just pulled it.
Classic performance from the kids from Gauteng, owning the Stort field out here against DHS. The douche is back onto the park for DHS.
Just got a couple of replacements coming on. Looks like DHS have about 20 players on the field at the moment. The rolling subs, you're not entirely sure who's on and off at any given time. But it's DHS's ball.
The try scorer there is Marcus Tiernesen.
So DHS, well, can they end this game on a high? There's still 8 minutes to go. It'll be a test of their character. Just the one victory this season so far. DHS in 2017 and 2018 had really good seasons, and it's a rebuilding phase. Boyson at fly off. Some good trickery out here in the back line, and it's looking really good. Back on the inside. DHS now, can they punch this Transvalia line? And the question is, and the answer is definitely not at the moment.
Just not accurate enough at the breakdown, DHS. But with that said, Transvalia have been incredibly good over the ball today. They've got on the ball early and have been difficult to remove. Maybe it's just a size difference. They do have a couple of kilos on each DHS player. So that's been crucial in them getting over the ball and winning penalties regularly.
Great take there from Swanepoel. Wagner, and there's an overlap, but Ollers can't collect. And here's a chance for Jenner, inside centre. Ceteris, good pop there to Noel. And what an offload that was. Here's the captain, Kruger, lining it up for the douche, who spreads it beautifully wide to the number 14 with blistering pace. Nene, that is stupendous. DHS with a classic try.
In Tlakanipo Nene, top stuff. And it's frustrating to see DHS produce something like that because you know that they can. And it would have been great to see them play like that for the entire game. 6 minutes to go. Maybe they can get another try in this one. But that's incredible stuff here. Look at this open play. And DHS, this is where they're at their most dangerous. Great floated ball over. Had a lot of work to do, Nene here. Cut inside, showed his pace. Bust through the gap, running at the holes. Top stuff. The big old swallow. And he's over.
Tipping on. Ceteris again. So DHS, they'll be a bit more confident now. And here's Nene again.
Going to want that to stay in field.
But the Villiers is safe as a house.
That can't guard on the full. Ooh. Oh. Interesting. Play on.
Steenkamp. It's a wayward pass from Clippy. And here is Jenner. What an offload that was to Boyson.
He doesn't have support.
Don't want to be at the breakdown with Transvalia. Good slip ball again there from Marcel Null. He's got a bag of tricks. Ceteris. Opportunities on the left, and that is a tackle on Flamini, but DHS still have the penalty, and there's still an opportunity for some more tries in this fixture for them.
Seems like something's lit them up here, DHS. Steenkamp goes.
It's a great play from Steenkamp. And Jenner again. Seen a lot of ball in the last 5 or 6 minutes. As the centre, Kruger to Tlamini. With a brilliant kick there. Well done, Tlamini. So in search of a third try. And then the scoreline will be respectable. Marcel Null, not greedy. And Monsieur. And that's gone into touch.
Yeah, at the end of the day, DHS have to give it a bit of air, have to try and be as enterprising as possible. Try and beat Transvalia on the outside of the defenders. And just the one extra pass is just not going to hand a little bit of inaccuracy. But it's getting incredibly dark here. You can't see it on the screen, but it's a lot darker than it looks on the screen looking out over the field.
Visser. Big number 7 is back onto the field. What a shift he is at. Short throw, Ceteris to Steenkamp, and that is a tragedy really, because the idea was right.
Hasn't gone over the 5 metre line, I think, is the call from the ref. So free kick to Transvalia. We haven't had the ball for the last while.
Get up the line, man!
Here's a chance now. Swanepoel, the lock forward. Transvalia, well, they won a 5-star finish, and that was brilliantly done by Dippenaar, but well read by DHS. Transvalia going backwards, and they work the short side through their number 8, and Bronkhorst there with the ball.
So DHS with the option to throw the dice. one last time, I think.
It will really be encouraging for them if they can finish on a high, DHS, going into their games with H T S Jansen on Saturday. And despite that 1 point loss to Glenwood, H T S Jansen, they'll be pumped. And then DHS have a strong Drostdy side on Monday. So all these matchups here are so competitive, and a reason for not moving off your couch. Ceteris, and he gets the short arm. And Dosemba there, who's really, really battled, fought his heart out. Tlamini, he enjoys the chip. De Villiers, possibly taken in the air, but he'll set off here, and he's got a clean set of heels. De Villiers, and can you believe it? He's been tackled. What a tackle that was. DHS, well, that's a good sign there, because Nick, a lot of players would have just let De Villiers canter in there.
Yeah, DHS are much prouder than that. Top work from the defence there for DHS, getting back there, making the tackle, getting the ball back. Just a minute ago, last opportunity for them.
DHS, well, they need to go to the casino here and roll the dice, coast to coast. And it's a skew throw. And is there time? There should be time for Transvalia to get a 7th try. The supporters from Gauteng will be really proud of this performance from Transvalia. DHS have shown flashes of brilliance. Transvalia have just contained them. And here they go in search of try number 7. They don't want a 5-star finish, they want a 7-star finish. And it's hold up. And there's still time. We just look at all these performers for Transvalia in their side. Their captain, Wagner, has been immense. Their number 9, who went off in the second half, Stoop, was a player who really, really put DHS under the pressure in the first half. And look at this, really close. It actually looks like it's down there, but it won't matter. Tippenaar frees it away to the skipper. So close for Wagner. Transvalia again. Well, they hold up again. And that is it. Transvalia get their first victory of the season over DHS here. 34 points to 12. Transvalia with 6 great tries through Burger, Swanepoel, Graham, Puertas, Alders, and Tiernesen. And then DHS, they had their moments, and possibly the try of the game, or even the try of the festival, Hill at Kearsney College.
Dames en heren, baie dankie vir die ondersteuning vandag. Thank you everybody, we really do appreciate you being part of the atmosphere today.
Krugel. Lights again. Coloros with the show go.
Oh.
Brilliant work from the scrum half. He's got one man to beat. He's going to go all the way.
What
Yes,
a try.
he is. Fantastic work from the scrum half. And they weren't going to stop him here. Too much space. Over he goes. Great try.
Teron. Morak.
It's on, yeah. Maastricht, it's on. Great offload.
There goes Pienaar, the big man.
Oh, the big man is on a charge.
Oh, what a pass as well. It's Van Arsvierken again.
Is he
He's
gonna
getting
make
into
it?
space. He's taunting them as he goes over. Fantastic try. Welkom finishing the half with a flourish.
Pienaar.
Powering his way.
Excellent stuff. And then Van Arsvierken running towards the ball into space. A little bit of showboating, but you can't blame him. There's 2 tries in less than 2 minutes.
Fantastic replacement in Diani. Selborne now kicking for the relief of the touchline, and again that doesn't find touch. Opportunity gifted to Noordkaap. See if the speedy men in the back can go. Fredericks is through. Fredericks has ghosted his way through. The account is open for
I
Noordkaap.
have just mentioned this man.
To the hands of Mokomele. There's an opportunity. Try time coming. This is Jacquin van Wyk. It's try number 2. Noordkaap.
And the offload.
It's just such great perception in the tackle. You know, rather than go down and recycle it, just look for the man on your shoulder.
Such a great contest so far, and that is elegantly done. Look at the handling. This is absolutely incredible. It's that man again, Keen Geland. The donkeys are having a party out here.
A good pass out wide to the left-hand side to put Keen Geland into some space, and he has got some wheels on him.
A wonderful initiative. Here comes Drostdy. Intercept. Christian Fook like a thief in the night. And my goodness, Drostdy will have the chance now to level the scores yet again.
Jacobs getting the ball out, and that pass right there intercepted. Good instinctive play by the young midfielder.
He wanted that to go older Jordan Hendrickson, but let's see what Jansen can do with possession just outside the Glenwood 22. What a line! What
straight
a
through,
line by
Balfour.
Martino! Oh!
Balfour with the spread. Manages to find De Bruyne all the way through. It's 22, Dwayne Blom.
And the pass, great pickup there from De Bruyne, and he's in for the try. Burgita goes over the top.
2 on 1. There's space on the outside. Here come Jansen. Go lad! Jet shoes down the outside. Pepla's in. What is?
Into some space runs. Jacob, he's got inside ball, no!
This could be points. Queens are in.
Brilliant offload into the hands of Quincy with that.
And there's an intercept. Now go Queens.
Absolute beauty into a pass that clearly.
To Hendrickson. And the Glenwood scrum off will get in. Absolutely incredible try.